Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Bonnie. Welcome, Miranda, and whoever else is around. Lissa and Marcos are here from Santa Fe. Hello, Marcos. Marcos, sorry. Great to see you, or not see you. I hope it's great to see me. Okay, let me stop fucking around. I'm going to give my introduction just for the purposes of the recording. Obviously, you all know who I am. So feel free to tune out for a little bit. Alrighty, so my name is Tom. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a queer white guy with salt and pepper hair and pink glasses. I am coming at you live from one piece of the land that was stolen from the Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee peoples. So if you're here to make a tarot card. We'll start around 4:20 EST or 3:20 Central, give or take a few minutes. Mostly give. So as I go through my intro, feel free to do any of these things or all of these things or none of these things, whatever feels right to you. Say hi in the chat. I think everybody here knows each other anyways, so this is a safe space, so feel free to chat it up with each other, especially if you haven't seen each other in a while. And encourage each other throughout the process of making your tarot cards. I think that would add a lot of value to the session today. Feel free to gather your materials if you're not using Canva with me. So make sure you have everything you need, including water. As you all know, I have my water and my tea. Lady Grey today. I also have my incense going, so really get comfortable. As a reminder, this is a 420 friendly event, so if you want to add that to the list of things you need to do to feel comfortable, by all means, enjoy. And then my last little note is to say, as we make our tarot cards today, I will be guiding us through some self-reflection and inviting you into your own inner world. And sometimes that can be a little emotional. And I would love to invite everyone to not go too deep today. This is a space that's meant to be fun and creative, and I am also not a trained therapist, so I want everyone to feel comfortable and safe. So I recommend not going past a level 5 on the spicy scale. Just keep it comfortable. So, I also want to remind us all of why we're here. Before I do that, I'm going to take a sip of tea. So, the way that I see it, we are here for 3 reasons. First and foremost, we're here to reclaim our creativity that we are naturally born with, and that tends to, for some people, fizzle out over time. Maybe you don't have time to be as creative as you want to. Maybe you have a lot of other responsibilities. Maybe you don't have the energy to be as creative as you want to. So I'm creating the space for us to experience that, to say, you know what? Life, you can wait for a minute. I'm going to sit here and make art. And that's it. The second reason that we are here is to practice self-reflection. Self-reflection is a way to get familiar with your inner landscape, to get familiar with yourself as a person. And self-reflection is an important part of healing work. So that's why I'm encouraging people to stay within a zone that feels safe and comfortable right now, because it can feel like therapy even though it's not therapy. So just be easy on yourself, please. And the other reason that I think self-reflection is important is because it helps us, it supports us, it gives us the tools we need to authentically contribute to liberation movements. I think everybody here is white, so self-reflection is a good way to, or except for maybe Marcos, I don't know. But the three people that I see in the chat. And self-reflection is a good way to understand your role in systems of oppression and also how systems of oppression impact you. Because they impact everybody, they harm everybody. There are things that we need to heal from white supremacy and capitalism. So self-reflection is one way that we can do that. And it's one way that I have found very helpful and supportive on my journey. And lastly, we are here to be in community. I love that it's this particular group of people together because I just think it's very special that we are all reunited this way. And I hope it can feel like some quality time with each other. So I always like to lead with that little introduction because, especially for people that don't know me as well as you do, I just like it to be very clear that I am here for particular reasons. And I just want to make sure that I'm representing myself as accurately as possible. And if anything I've said doesn't land with anybody watching this, if you're not really thinking about how you as an individual can make a difference in the world, I would invite you to maybe start having that conversation with yourself. I know it's scary. I know it's a lot of pressure. But I think it would mean a lot to a lot of people, including yourself. And if anything I've said has made you uncomfortable, that's okay. I think that's actually very normal. Talking about these things makes me uncomfortable too, which is why I have my tools around me to support me. Have my tea, my incense, and my music. And again, I'm not going to make you confront anything that you don't want to. Only you can decide how vulnerable you want to be. Again, I wouldn't recommend going too deep. Just keep it chill, keep it safe, keep it manageable. And try not to criticize yourself for any thoughts that come forward. Since it's just this group of people, I'm going to skip my Canva instructions. If you want to use Canva, the link is pinned in the chat. It's also linked in the video description box. And the Canva project is free to use. You don't need a Canva account. You don't need any experience to use Canva, so please feel free to experiment in there. It's a great way to express yourself creatively, to try a new art style, and to just let your artistic talents, even if you don't think of them as talents, flow through you and into the universe. So we're going to skip the Canva tutorial. I trust you all to know what the fuck you're doing. And I don't know if anybody's actually going to be using it, because I know you bitches like to get up to other things. Alright. Miss Ma'am. Oh. My thingy is a little delayed. Okay. So today we are talking about the High Priestess, which I think is very special. And before we start making our own, I just want to walk through kind of the standard interpretations of the High Priestess. But before I do that, I always like to give a special shout out to Pamela Coleman Smith, who illustrated the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, one of the most basic tarot decks in the world. It's a lot of people's first tarot deck. It's a very symbolic and archetypal tarot deck, and it was illustrated by a queer woman of color. And so I just like to make sure that we are giving credit where credit is due, because it is long due. A lot of times you'll see the Rider-Waite-Smith referred to as just the Rider-Waite, and that erases Pamela's contributions to this really milestone tarot deck. So I like to insert that because Pamela really did her thing. And the themes that you see on the right here, intuition, introspection, divinity, those are kind of like the standard interpretations of the High Priestess. But when I was making this, I was specifically referencing the Neo Tarot by Jericho Mandybur, who is also a queer woman of color. So basically, the High Priestess represents everything like your inner core, your inner wisdom, your essence, your sense of knowing, and she's often associated as the archetype of the divine feminine, which I personally endorse. I endorse the concept of the divine feminine. However, I know it doesn't work for everybody, particularly people who are not interested in conforming to any binaries or gender binaries. So that's why I'm just going with divinity as an overall concept rather than applying a gender to it. So the High Priestess can be whatever you want it to be, basically. She's got a lot going on, so we're going to talk about some of the main symbols in this imagery, and these interpretations came from A Complete Guide to Tarot by Eden Gray and biddytarot.com, which honestly, reliable source. So I trust her. I trust her with my life. In the background is a veil, and that represents the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious. So the High Priestess is kind of seen as this doorkeeper of, like, before, as you explore your own subconscious, you have to go through the High Priestess. And the tapestry is decorated with pomegranates and palms, which are reproductive symbols, and so it represents how our subconscious is able to produce. And it's like closely related to your imagination, your intuition. On either side of the High Priestess are columns, black and white, and that represents duality. So positive and negative, forces of good and evil, masculine, feminine, again, if that works for you. My thing's like buffering, so I'm going to give it a second. On the High Priestess's robe, there's a cross, and that represents balance, especially the balance between positive and negative. And that's kind of how you achieve enlightenment or fulfillment. In her lap, the High Priestess is holding a scroll that says Torah, which can be interpreted as divine law or the greatest law, the universal law, but it's partially hidden in her sleeve because that kind of information is not for everybody. That knowledge is only for people who are ready for it. It's not for everyone's eyes. And then I lastly wanted to point out the moon, which often represents our intuition. And again, that's one of the main interpretations of the High Priestess. One of the things I didn't write on here is the bottom of her gown. It represents water, and it looks like kind of a river flowing over the moon. And that represents the subconscious. So it's kind of like whatever's behind the curtain is like kind of leaking towards the front and out of the picture of the card. And then the river reappears in other tarot cards in the major arcana. So that's kind of cool. is not working. So apparently it's buffering. All right. Can y'all let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me? We're gonna pause. Oh, Bonnie can hear me. Okay. Well, I guess we can keep going then. Oh, okay. So it might just be me. Okay. Thank you. Okay, great. We can move on with our lives. So we're going to make our tarot cards now. Again, feel free to use Canva if you want to, but do whatever you want to do. Sometimes people have like baked just while listening in or going on a bike ride, so truly do whatever you want to do. But if you're in Canva, you can duplicate page 4. And you can duplicate by clicking this little icon with the overlapping squares and the plus sign. And feel free to write your name in the optional text box if you want to. And as we go along, I will guide us through some reflection questions just to help us focus our creativity if we need that help. If you don't want to pay attention to the reflections, feel free to do your own thing. Play your own music if you want to. Speaking of music, I'm going to put mine back on. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Mostly just too loud. I don't really care if you can't hear it. Okay. High Priestess. So I chose Birdo for the High Priestess. My rationale behind that is for my own knowledge only. If you can figure it out, congratulations. But so I'm challenging myself here because Birdo is not a human, and for the first two I used human characters and just dressed them up. So we're gonna see if we can dress up Birdo. I don't know. She's shaped kind of weird. But Birdo is a Nintendo character. She's similar to Yoshi. I think their species are related or something. But Birdo is canonically trans, and I love that for her. And I love that for Nintendo. So, we're gonna see what Birdo has to say today as the High Priestess. So when we're making our High Priestess cards, one of the main things that I think we will be thinking about is our intuition. And I invite you to try to recall what your intuition feels like. When you feel it, how do you know it's your intuition? Where does that feeling exist in your body? And then try to describe that feeling. What color is it? Does it have a texture or a pattern? What shape is it? Does it make sound? Does it move? What does your intuition feel like? So I'm gonna make her a little smaller. There surprisingly was not a lot of options for pictures of Birdo. I think I want a photo. Ooh, maybe not. Oh my god, yeah, my Canva is not well. It's fine. We accept it. We surrender to the universe. Okay, so I'm gonna put some glitter smoke coming out of Birdo's nostril. And if you're having trouble thinking of what your intuition feels like, or if you're having trouble identifying when you have felt your intuition, think about the decisions you're making in your artwork right now. How are you making those decisions? For me, at least, when I'm making art, especially things like this, where I'm just like putting random things together and hoping they look good. A major part of my process is just going with my gut and not questioning it. I don't know if I like the skinny. I kind of wanted like a pillar of smoke. Or maybe like a puff. I did drink a Kool-Aid, just like I do when I was 9. This is cute. In our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school, but not learn too much, 'cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time flies. Past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Yeah. Years go by, the time flies. Past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. The angle has to be perfect. That's another reason I like Canva, is because it's super easy to fixate. I guess that's why I like making art in general. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I like the color, but I'm gonna see if another color looks better. Duotone. I mean, I do like the presets, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think it should be pink. That's kind of cute. Lavender. I don't know, I kind of like it just the way it was. You're perfect just the way you are. That was a message straight from the universe. As you're working on your tarot card or whatever you chose to work on today, I know there's somebody that is potentially doing a jigsaw puzzle. I heard that through the grapevine, and I love that. As you continue to do whatever you're doing, don't forget to breathe. Breathe into your belly, letting your stomach and your rib cage expand fully. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. And try to return your attention to your breath every now and then. Don't forget that you are breathing. So maybe by now you have kind of remembered what your intuition feels like. And my next question is, how easy was it to find that feeling? When I asked, what does your intuition feel like, were you able to immediately oh, yep, that's my gut? Or did you need a couple minutes to kind of settle into it? How familiar are you with your intuition? And it's okay if you don't know what your intuition feels like. It's okay if you are having trouble putting your finger on that feeling, recalling when's the last time you experienced it. It takes practice, so don't be too hard on yourself. I have forgotten an hour. It's been 2 days since I've showered. I personally know my intuition very well. I am very, very familiar with her. I want to fly away, far from my mistake. My package has too much weight. So my bed is where I stay. I've been making major life decisions based on my intuition for many years. And so far, she hasn't led me astray. So I have no reason to stop letting her decide what we're gonna do. I like that it's the three of you, because I feel very comfortable right now. I don't know if I like this, to be honest. Like, it's not really what I was going for, per se.
I think it was a Honda, a 99, that we driving plain Nirvana. It never started right away, it didn't wanna let me get too far from you. I was still too young to realize that these summertime drives, they don't last your whole lifetime. I think it was a Honda. I run another lot to get through the night.
No wonder my Canva is freaking out.
But I know that I'm alright. We were 17, pure like kerosene. You protected me, you were my sunscreen. You protected me, you were my sunscreen.
Oh, you know what I want to do? Not eyelashes. I want to give her some brows. Yup. I have no idea what it's gonna look like, but I think it'll be funny as hell. She doesn't really have a head. I mean, she has a head. She doesn't have a forehead, though. So we're gonna see how this goes. I think it was a Honda. I run another lot to get through the night. Yeah, it's not giving what I was really hoping it was gonna. 17, you protected me. You were my sunscreen. I run another lot to get through the night. Scared as shit, but I know that I'm alright. We were 17, kerosene. Yeah, that didn't work. I was really excited about it, but gotta move on. Back to what I was originally doing. For me, making these little things is a really great way to practice, like, just letting go. If an idea is not working, it's fine to just move on. Okay, I'm not mad at that, actually. I think we're gonna make them a different color. Can you let me know in the chat if you knew Birdo? If you're familiar with Birdo? Did you recognize the character when you saw the invite? I'm always curious. Mother, I don't know if I'll call you when I'm there, but I can promise you that I'll call you when I'm scared. I'll call you when I'm scared. Blonde eyelashes. Father, I don't know if we needed all those fights, 'cause looking back, it kinda feels like you were always right. I wish you could see them a little bit better. Ooh, green. What if I put them on the bottom? Bonnie recognized Birdo but didn't know they were trans. Very cool. I was a Dry Bones kid. Dry Bones, I want to say, is underestimated, but I really don't think he is. I think he's estimated appropriately. But that's just how I feel. Okay, that's kind of cute. Miranda did not recognize Birdo. She's cute though. Yeah, well, obviously. Marcos knew. Ooh, yes, Marcos. See, I don't think the top ones are going to work over here, per se. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. I'm probably going to change it anyways, but it's good enough for now. Yeah, I went back and I redid my magician. I'm much happier with the way it looks now. Sometimes it's hard for me to like facilitate and create at the same time. Okay, I need to like get off the eyelashes. Move on, Tom. What's the next prompt? How do you tend to your inner landscape? So for me, the High Priestess, and I also wanted to mention, like, I know at least one person in the audience is familiar with tarot, and particularly the High Priestess, so if there are other interpretations that you feel called to share, please do so. But when I think of the High Priestess, I think of like meditation and introspection, and really like she's all about intuition. And so in order to tap into your intuition, you have to create the environment to do that. And so for me, that's about stillness, being still, letting your mind release the thoughts of the world, because there are a lot. Our minds are going a mile a minute, well, at least mine is. And so to tap into my intuition, I have to clear that out. And that's what the High Priestess represents to me. So what does that look like for you? What is your version of stillness? Or maybe you tend to your inner landscape when you're not still. Maybe you do that when you're working out. Or dancing. I think there are a lot of ways to take care of yourself, your inner being. So what does that look like for you? Okay, what are we doing with Berto here? I told you I was challenging myself. And maybe we can put some sort of skirt on her. I think my technology is not strong today. So anyways, I really liked what Lissa added to my interpretations of the High Priestess, because it's so, and you know, what Lissa mentioned is also all about balance. And like I said, the cross on her robes represents balance, and so that's another thing that she's balancing is when do I tap into myself? When do I tap into whatever energy is flowing through me? And when do I just not worry about it? When do I relax? When do I enjoy going out and having fun and experiencing the world? Thank you for sharing, Melissa. That was... I wonder if I could put a skirt on Birdo. I do wonder that. And I think it has to be an illustration. I do like the plaid, actually. See, the thing is, she's a dinosaur, so... Human clothes. Yeah, that's not it. Oh, I wish I could put her in a jumper. That would be so cute. But I don't think it's gonna work. Oops. Yeah, she's not angled right. But Birdo would look cute in a jumper. The American kind. Also the British kind. She would look cute in a sweater. Maybe... Got to let it go sometimes. I know some days we all cry. We break down, yeah, we lose our minds. Let it go sometimes. Yeah, we let it go sometimes. I know some days we all cry. We break down, yeah, we lose our minds. I know some days we all cry, but let's just lie. Let's just trust life. So I'm gonna try giving Birdo this little blonde braid. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I know some days we all cry. We break down, yeah, we lose our minds. Let it go sometimes. Got to let it go sometimes. I know some days we all cry. We break down, yeah, we lose our minds. Let it go sometimes. Got to let it go sometimes. I know some days we all cry. We break down, yeah, we lose our minds. I know some days we all cry. What Lissa mentioned about discernment and knowing when to take a break is very much related to what we're thinking about with how do you tend to your inner landscape. So you have to be discerning on when to do that. How do you know when your inner landscape needs tending to? And then you also need discernment when you're deciding what strategy you want to use to tend to your inner landscape. Like, it's like doing a check-in with yourself. Like, do I need to run right now? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to eat? Just doing a quick check-in. I really like this. However, I can't put that one pigtail behind her snout. And to me, that is unfortunate. Okay. I like that it was gray to start with. Oops, pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah, Birdo is really... tricky. It looks like we have been joined by somebody else. A couple people. I see Emily is in here. Hello, Emily. I don't know. It's interesting that there are so many options for blonde hair, but gray hair, there are only like 4. What happens if I type in just hair? Simple money maker. Maybe that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and redo this, but for now, this is okay. It's giving Amy Winehouse. But not quite. It's actually not at all. I kind of like that. But again, I can't send that one piece backward. I think we should try something else.
Found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we moved home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. Don't be left behind on the road. Don't be left behind on the road.
We're going in a different direction. Oops, that's not what I meant to say. Hell yeah. We're gonna bling her out instead of trying to dress her up. Yep, that was the right decision. Yep. Since it's just us... Oh, that's cute. I'm really excited for tonight because I'm going to the monthly queer open mic night. And I prepared something very special this time that I'm excited to share with everybody. Yep. I put a gold chain on Birdo, and I am very pleased with that decision. Emily said, I remember Tom liked to play as Birdo in Mario Tennis on the 64. Yep. That's an OG. That's my day one right there. I was talking about Emily, but I guess Birdo is also my day one, apparently. And I still do. And I still do. Play as Birdo. Mom, today sucked, I'm not feeling great. People all laughed and they call me names. Was it so tough and the world so lame? Bonnie said, love that for you. Everyone there will be up for a treat, I am sure. Thank you, Bonnie. I'm sure as well. Let me actually read the last reflection question, and then we can move on. What things do you like to create? Ooh, I love this question. And this reminds me, I wanted to actually... I have one of my tarot books right here. And this is very like... this is where I get a lot of the what each symbol means. But it says... And for those of you who don't know, I've been doing this in like a series. I think everyone here knows that, but just to remind you. And so the High Priestess is the third one that we've done. She's the third card in the Major Arcana after the Fool and the Magician. And I really liked what this book says, and I want to just read it out loud. Whereas the Fool and the Magician represent only the potentiality, the will to create, the High Priestess has the latent power to manifest. So the Fool and the Magician, they have the potential. There's a lot of untapped potential there. It's taking a leap of faith and discovering your gifts. And the High Priestess not only has that knowledge, the Fool and the Magician know that they can do it. The High Priestess knows that she can do it, and she does it. She trusts her inner knowledge and uses it to make something. So I think the High Priestess is actually a very creative card because she uses her intuition to make things. So what do you like to make? And this can be literally anything you want it to be. Hell yeah. Oh, you know what I should do? I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. So what do you like to create? That could be art. I mean, that's the obvious one. We are here to make art. But it can be anything else. Maybe you like to cook. You like to make food. Maybe you like to make money. I know I do. Maybe you like to make people laugh. You like to create laughter. You can make memories.
They say, hey, I can't stay late playing on my video game. You got things to do.
So what do you like to create?
Maybe I fade in if I tried a little more just to look.
And I hope everybody feels empowered to like stay on as long as they want to or leave whenever they want to.
Play my
Video games. I think we just have to go back to the old classic. Just use the same one.
Play my video. Play my video. They say, hey, I can't spend all my money on my deadbeat friends. They need things to do. They need to go out and look for jobs, and you do too. Maybe I fit in if I tried a little more just to look like them.
That's kind of cute.
Maybe I fit in if I tried a little more just to act like.
So I like to make art, obviously.
Play my video. Play my video. Play my video. Play my video. Baby, I fit in if I try to look like them. Baby, I fit in if I try to be like them. Baby, I fit in if I try to look like them.
I don't know why it's not giving me what I want. Oh, here it is. Whoa. It's not exactly what I wanted, but... So if you're drawing or whatever you're doing, maybe you draw your high priestess in the act of creating something. If you want to. I think that'll work.
Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to do? Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you. Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to prove? Write it down in ink, I'm a chunk tattoo, always here with you. Don't you know that I'll be there for you wherever you go? I'm a guarantee like currency and hot and speed. So whenever you're lost, I'm blue. I've got some to see you soon. And when we show it, the way is roll without you. The piano's out of tune, but I'll play it for you so we can have stuff to do in the afternoon. Here for you, yeah, I'll do it with you. I'll stick till it's through, yeah, you know that it's true. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry. Sometimes we get drunk and buy shit that we find online. Yeah, I'll do it with you. I'll stick till it's through, yeah, you know that it's true. for you. Till we got nothing left to do. Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you. Don't you know that I'll be here for you? Till we got nothing left to do. Write it down and ink on my trunk tattoo. Always here with you.
Birdo is expensive. I think I want to put a little stone on her nose ring as well. Okay, let me see if anybody else used Canva. Oh, yep. Okay. I'm gonna stop myself. I'll finish this / redo it later. But I think it's good for now.
Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry. And sometimes we get drunk and rush. Then we find out yeah.
And feel free to continue working on your own pieces if you want to. But I'm gonna lead us into our final segment for the day. And before I do that, I would invite everyone, if you are done working on your art, to take a couple of deep breaths. Come back to yourself a little bit, your physical body in the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And y'all have been here before, so you already know that I like to look at everyone's and talk about them. And I decided to call this part of the program Affirmations because I'm not here to criticize your work. I'm not here to give it a rating. I'm here to hype it up because I think that everything we create is beautiful. And I want everyone that contributes to this thing that I'm doing, I want them to feel like their work is valued. And yeah, I just want everyone to feel seen because that's how I feel when I'm doing these. So we only have a couple today, and I think that's perfect. I'm going to share my screen again. Hopefully my computer can handle it. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put like a moon in the background, maybe. And I realized that in addition to the eyelashes, I want to add some thick eyeliner as well. But we'll see. TBD, come back and look at it if you want to. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Oh, I think people are probably still moving stuff around. So we have Emily's. And I see Emily also went with a Nintendo character. These are Animal Crossing characters. I love the environment that the owl is. I forget the Celeste. I love the environment that Celeste is in. You can tell that Celeste is in her element right now. Oh, Emily said, I did Celeste first, but then I realized Luna would be more appropriate. I mean, I kind of like having the two options. That'd be kind of a cool idea for a tarot deck, is to have like different versions. But I remember that Celeste is like the astronomy girl. And I love that she's just underneath this expansive night sky with the giant moon and the shining stars. And she found her little her little recipes. And she's gonna make something with those crystals that she found. That's the creative energy of the High Priestess. Taking your resources and turning them into something. I like that a lot. And then, of course, Luna is just... I mean, I think she represents the High Priestess perfectly as well. Love it. I'm surprised to see Miranda's in here, because usually she likes to take her time. Miranda uses Adobe, so her illustrations always look so polished. Oh, she left a little note. This was the easiest and quickest card I've made thus far, which I think speaks to its meaning. Thank you, love you. See? Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, not think too hard about it. I am very soothed by this card. It reminds me of the... I don't know if this is actually an oyster, but it reminds me of the phrase, the world is your oyster. And I think that relates to the High Priestess quite a lot. I said that weird, but whatever. The world is your oyster, and like the High Priestess is actually making the world her oyster. She's not just saying it, you know. She knows the world is her oyster, and she's doing it. She's making that pearl. She's finding that pearl. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but she's having a tough time. And this oyster with the pearl is just chilling on the beach. I love the colors. I feel like this is a very soft representation of intuition, which I appreciate. Because my intuition, to me, feels a little bit louder, a little bit more graphic. And I love this very soft, calm... like the message is not being forced. It's just like, yes, I know what I need to do. I know what's going on. Yeah, I like that a lot. Thank you, Miranda. And Bonnie was able to add hers as well. Bonnie does these really awesome illustrations that I truly adore. And Bonnie always adds her name in this like neon sign writing, and I think that's amazing. The High Priestess is learning to trust her intuition and balance all her dualities. Ooh. I love the flavor of that. I love thinking of the High Priestess as someone who's learning. I really appreciate that interpretation. Because oftentimes I get in the mindset of like, okay, I've learned the thing, I know everything, I know what I'm doing, I have all this knowledge, I can just start applying it. And it's great to remember that you're always learning. And trusting your intuition changes over time. Your life experiences change, and so you kind of might have to reacquaint yourself with your intuition. It's not something that once you do it, you're just set for life, you know? And like I said, for some people, it's easier to tap into their intuition than for others. So I love that Bonnie captured that. And the illustration with the fish swirling around the person floating in the middle. My first glance at it, like interpret it as water and it looks like water and it's fish, so you think it's water, but it could also be the sky. You never know with these kinds of things. I really like that Bonnie added all the scales on the fish. That really satisfies me. Bonnie said, I'm doing the whole deck with how I feel I do with the skills of the Arcana. Always learning. Yep. You and I both. I think that's everybody. Yep. Well, thank you everybody for being here. It was a smaller group today, but I appreciated every single person that was here because I think it created a really nice space to be in. And I just want to acknowledge everybody's contributions to that space. So thank you. Thank you for showing up for me always and letting me do my thing. Letting me show you how I feel, how I think. It means a lot to me that you all are interested and receptive to what I have to say and how I present myself. And I hope that continues. I don't remember what comes after the High Priestess. And at this point in the day, I am sick of saying High Priestess. So I'll do one more of these. I'll send you the invite as always. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. And we will chat soon. Take care.